everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting another Necron. Yes, today we are painting the new and improved Orikan the Diviner. Yes, here he is. Games Workshop have sent him to me early to build up and paint for all of you, and that is exactly what we are doing today. And we are going to waste no further time, and we are going to jump in and start painting. He has been primed in grey Seer. And the colour we're going to be using first is some Terradon Turquoise. And we're going to be applying this over the top of, well, all the sort of turquoisey areas. So this is going to be things like the tabard and his shoulders and things like that. So as usual, I'd recommend having the box art in front of you, just so you can determine where all this goes. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Skullcrusher Brass. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of his kind of like capey bit. We're also going to apply this over the top of the bit around his face and these little bits on the kind of baubles at the top. Now Skullcrusher Brass is a layer paint, so it might take a couple of thin coats to get a nice strong coat here. But don't worry if it does. That is all part of the plan. So with all that Skullcrusher Brass applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to pretty much apply this over the top of the rest of Orikan. We're not going to do anything on the staff just yet, although if you want to, you can colour in some of those details. In fact, no, I've just had a little look at the picture and there doesn't seem to be any silver on the staff, so we're not going to touch the staff. Just ignore me. Instead, listen to me when I tell you to do this bit. We're painting this over the top of all of his body and his tail. So with all that silver applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to take two colours, Luxion Purple and Leviathan Purple. We're going to apply this in two places. One to the large ball at the top of his staff, and the other is in amongst this cube. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to start by taking the Luxion Purple. And we're going to apply this over the top of these bits that we haven't done. So we just want to get this in there. Just like this. Then we're going to wash the brush, grab some Leviathan Purple, not very much, and we're then just going to add this in, just kind of a bit sporadically, like that. And then we're also going to bring this onto the Terradon Turquoisey bits of the cube, and then we're going to wash the brush, and then we're going to give it a little bit of a blend just to kind of smooth out kind of how dark it will end up being. This just saves us having to kind of thin any of it down, if you see what I mean. Just like that. Wash the brush, grab a little bit more Luxion Purple, and apply this over the top of this bit up here. back. Like that. Wash the brush. Then grab a little bit more Leviathan Purple. And again, just kind of smash it in there. And then bring it down over the cube. Wash the brush. And then blend it, move it around. On the cube, like so. Then, similarly, on the ball at the top, I'm going to take that Luxion Purple. I'm going to move pretty quickly here. So we're just going to take a little bit more than we would normally. I'm going to apply this all over the top. And we're going to move that paint around, because we're not looking for kind of any large dark pools, but because we're going to move quickly, and we don't want a drying line halfway along, I'm going to go over the top of the back as well. Like that. And then I'm going to wash the brush, grab some of that Leviathan Purple, and then around the bottom half of the ball and around the top half of the ball, same on the back. Like that. And then we're going to wash the brush, and what we're going to do is we're going to move the paint around until we're happy with a brighter middle section and a darker edge section, like that. And like that. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is take some striking scorpion green. I'm going to apply this over the top of the staff. I'm going to just take this a segment at a time. So do one side, then flip it over, and do the other side. Whilst we're waiting for all that striking scorpion green to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion. We're going to apply this over the top of most of the staff. But we're also going to apply this over the top of the panel on his head that is currently still grey Seer. And now, I'm just going to get the Black Legion all over the smooth area, the ribbed area, or rather segmented area. Like that. And we're also going to apply this over the cartouche bit. So with that done, it's now back to the green of the staff, and what we're going to do is we're going to take some Warp Lightning, and we're basically going to load up our brush here, and then we're going to blend it out in ways that are pleasing to the eye. So what we want to do is we basically want to cover in half of the kind of each of the spars. So I'll show you what I mean. We're going to start here at the little recess, and we're just going to apply it like that. Then we're going to wash the brush, and here where the line is, we're just going to dab away. Like that, to create a nice, soft, subtle blend on each of the spars of the staff. So we'll do it again. So again, just going to load up the brush with a decent amount. It's a little too much. And again, starting here at the recess, I'm going to bring it up, colour in the top, and do about half. Wash the brush, and then at the line, we're going to blend. So we go one more. Starting here, a little too much on the brush. Wash the brush. And then blend it. Like that sort of thing. When it gets to the top one though, however, I'm going to once again load up the brush with the Warp Lightning. Only this time, rather than do half, we're just going to do the whole of the top half and then blend. So, apply this like this, over the top, coming down to around about there. Wash the brush, and then around about there. Oh, we got that so quickly just then. Just going to mop up a little bit there because I don't want it to be that dark in that corner, like so. And then we're just going to replicate this, continuing our way around. And then we'll do it on the back half as well. So once again, start down here, but rather than do it this way, we're now going to go kind of, it is the same thing, but it's just kind of in reverse. Wash the brush. And so with that done, we're then going to take a small amount of Terradon Turquoise. And we're going to do a very similar thing, except we're just going to stick towards the tips of the staff. So we're going to apply the Terradon Turquoise like this, and we're just going to bring it down onto the spars a little bit. Wash the brush. And then we get in there. And just remove some of that excess. I was a little bit heavy with the Terradon Turquoise there. We want it to blend out into Terradon Turquoise land. So we're going to get it over the top here. Add a little bit over the top. Wash the brush. And then get in there. Like that. Similarly, on the top of the staff, I'm going to apply the Terradon Turquoise, like that sort of thing. Wash the brush, and then give it the old blenderoo. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour, and we're now going to apply this over the top of all the remaining details on the staff. So we've got the butt of it down there, we've got the little casing around this glowy orb, like this. Like that. We've got the bit just above it, of course, but we do also have areas like this little ring, which we're going to apply this over just like this. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to add some shades. The first is going to be some Coelia Greenshade. I'm going to use this to shade the Terradon Turquoisey areas on the armour. So with that now done, we're going to take some Aggaros Dunes and we're going to use this to shade our Skullcrusher Brass areas. So with all that Aggaros Dunes applied, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil. I'm going to use this to shade all the silver. And we'll also apply this over the top of the gold as well. So with that done, Orikan is nearly at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. However, he's not quite there, because what we need to do now is take some thinned down Corax White. And we're going to use this to relayer all of the bits that are going to glow. So all of these baubles. So we're going to start with this one here on the belly. like that. Then we're just going to move on and around the model. With all of that Corax White now applied, we're going to take some Tesseract Glow and we're going to apply this over the top of all the white. So with that all done, Orikan is now at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, and he's looking pretty cool. However, we are not going to leave it there. No, of course not. We're going to take it to the next level. I'm going to do this by adding some highlights. Now, the first of these is going to be some thinned down Temple Guard blue. I'm going to use this to highlight the kind of bluer sections of the cube. Like so. But what we're also going to do is we're going to use this to highlight all of the Terradon Turquoise bits. So with all of that done, we're then going to take some Gauss Blaster Green. I'm going to use this to add a little tiny spot highlight to those Terradon Turquoise areas. What we're looking to do, it's way too heavy, we're looking to just add a tiny little dot like this to the sharpest points. Just like this. So with all that Gauss Blaster Green now applied, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Genestealer Purple. I'm going to use this to now highlight the purple areas. That was my wrist. It's normal to click like that, right? And with that Genestealer Purple applied, we're then going to take a tiny amount of Fulgrim Pink. And just like with the Gauss Blaster Green, what we're going to do is we're going to pick out the corners. That's a little too much. For my taste anyway. just like this. And then similarly on the ball at the top, I'm going to apply a little bit of the Fulgrim Pink. And so with that done, we're then going to take a tiny little amount of Corax White. I'm going to use this to now highlight the green on the staff. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take a tiny little bit of Dawnstone, put it thin down on our palette, and we're going to use this to highlight the black details. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to work on all the metallics. And the first one we're going to do is all the silver. Now specifically we're going to work on his skeleton / armor. And the color we're going to be using is some thinned down Leadbelcher. And the reason I say we're working on his skeleton / armor is his tail is going to be slightly different. We want it to be a little bit more darker, a little bit more industrial. Whereas for the rest of him, what we want to do is we want to relayer this Leadbelcher, just like I'm doing there, to give it a nice bright shiny look. You can already see on that thigh. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker, and we're going to use this to highlight all of the silver. Now you can, if you want to, dry brush the tail to speed things up. If you don't want to, you can just pick out all of the edges. So with all of that silver now highlighted all the way around, as you can see, what we're now going to do is we're going to highlight both the gold and the Skullcrusher Brass. I'm going to be highlighting that with some thinned down Canoptek Alloy. And this will in fact finish off the model. So with our base now all complete, Orikan the Diviner is now finished. I keep wanting to say Orikan or Orikan the Diviner. Just, it's my own brain. Intrusive thoughts. Anyway, I really liked this one. I think he's pretty cool. It's a really nice upscale, I should say, for Orikan. And, well, it's lovely that he comes as a pair with Imotekh, basically. Really cool. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member
by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.